My fallback game is something serious. You heard me? Whoa, now what's happening with it? How you? How your mom and them? Let's get into it. Today we're gonna talk about fallback, fallback game. Sometimes you can't uh judge folk for who they are and what they do, right? Now we're gonna talk about my fallback game, but there's a lot of people out there that's like me. And we're that way for a reason, right? And I'll tell you my reason. Somebody else who go through this might have to tell you their reason. But let's just say I've been in relationships with people, I've been in friendships with people, just from A to Z, right? Anything you can imagine. And I could I could either love you to death, I could be cool as a fan with you, I can we can hang tough. But once I fall back, I fall back. So let's get into it. And let me explain why. Some people might look at it as, oh, well, you never really did love me. Because if you loved me, you wouldn't be able to go without talking to me or go without, some people say that now. If a person say they love you, but you don't talk to them in days or whatever, or week or 2 weeks, they don't really love you. That ain't the truth. Let me just say that. Not from my perspective, anyway. Most of what we have are defense mechanisms, right? One of my biggest defense mechanisms is not getting hurt. I've said it before, I'm an emotional person. I don't make no excuses for that. I don't hide that because it's who I am. It's a part of who I am. So, a lot of what I do in my life is a defense mechanism. And I speak on trauma all the time. We've all had some childhood trauma. Even if it wasn't childhood trauma, it was trauma that you might have gotten in your adult life or your teenage life or whatever. Everybody got something that they're dealing with. And I say that all the time because that's life, that's reality, that's how it works, right? So back to the defense mechanism. Most people have them. They might not do the fallback game like that, or they might not do other stuff, but most of us have defense mechanisms. One of my defense mechanisms is, again, not to be hurt, not to get disappointed, not to build somebody up or put somebody up on a pedestal so high that when they do fall off of that I put them up there and I should have never did, then that's going to jack me up. In a lot of cases, that's why my fallback game is what it is. Now, I don't know if you believe in zodiacs and horoscopes and all of that, but I'm a Libra. And I've heard and I've read that uh, that's a big thing for a Libra. Once they done with you, they done with you. Well, let me correct that or let me fix that. For me, from my standpoint, that's not always true for me. Yeah, it's true that you would think that because I'm not calling you, I'm not looking for you, I'm not, but that's all a part of my defense mechanism again. If you do me bad enough that I got to fall back from you, then that ain't my fault. That's your fault. And I used to didn't think about it like that, but now I realize that was your fault because you obviously did something that made me fall back from you, right? And it's never once I'm through with you, I'm through. I mean, it would seem that way. And physically, I am. Because you might don't see me, you might don't hear from me. You won't even know I'm still on this earth. And that's not nothing I'm bragging about or being proud about, but that's just a part of who I am. And I'm saying it because I know that, again, there's a lot of people out there like me. But I'm just saying, for me, it's that, like I said, if you did something to me that was enough to make me fall back, then that's your problem, not mine. I used to didn't think about it like that, but now I do. And like I said, if you looking from outside, you would think that I never cared or I never really felt the way I said I felt. But it's not even like that. Because even though I fall back from you physically, I'm still praying for you. I'm still rooting for you. I'm still hoping that you win. I promise you I am. You'll never know because I don't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? But on some real stuff, again, all of that comes from disappointment and getting hurt or getting your feelings hurt or and most people are like, you a man, you're supposed to be having no feelings like that. You don't supposed to be getting no feelings hurt. Yeah, well, tell that to somebody else because it sounds good. So anyway, like I said, um, most people that do that, they do that for a reason. They don't just do that. Like I don't have friendships or relationships or situations that I just say, you know what, I'm gonna fall back from this person because I just feel like falling back. No, you did something. You said something. You did something. You act a certain way. Whatever the case was, you did something to make me fall back. And once you do that, that's gonna forever be one thing about me. And I know I'm not the only person, like I always say. One thing about me is that I don't, it's hard for me to let go of stuff. That's number one. And number two, number one, it's hard for me to let go of stuff. I just lost my train of thought. Okay, so it's hard for me to let go of stuff. And my mentality, I don't want to bother nobody. And I don't want to uh, uh, ask for nothing. I don't want to do any of that, right? So if I feel some kind of way, and sometimes I'll ask you, is this that, or that's that, or are you feeling some kind of way, or you whatever, whatever. But back to what I'm saying, once I get to the point to where I'm through, I'm through. But again, I might be through with you physically, but I'm gonna always pray for you. I'm gonna always wish for the best for you. I'm gonna always want you to win. You know what I'm saying? Just not at my expense, if that makes sense. Bars. No, I'm just playing. But that's basically it. And that's basically why my fallback game is so strong. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm being repetitive, but it was something you done. It was something you did that made me fall back, right? And like I said in another video, as I get older, I'm constantly learning. Don't believe the hype that because you're a certain age, you know everything or you know a whole lot of stuff. I'm constantly learning, right? So when you show me something, I have to go with that. I can't just brush that off. You see what I'm saying? Back in the G, I might have been like, nah, maybe it ain't that. Maybe it ain't this. Now I'll ask again. You feeling some kind of way? Did I do something? Did I? Are you know what I mean? But also, what I mean by constantly learning is that we have to learn that sometimes seasons are over with. Sometimes things are just for seasons. We also have to learn what works for us and what don't work for us. After I got divorced the second time, I told a story, but it took me about a year and a half to even talk to somebody. But once I started back dating, I talked to a few people. They were cool people, not to take nothing away from them, right? Some of them I just wasn't ready for because I hadn't really gotten over my other situation, or I was still jacked up about that. And then some of them, it just didn't work for me. The physical was cool, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know relationships ain't just based on physical, you know what I mean? The physical was cool, but some of the mental stuff and some of the characteristics and some of the ways, it's like, bro, you went through what you just went through, and you really gonna deal with this right now? Nah, I can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. That's why I said in one of my other videos that uh, I learned how to say this don't work for me, and I think all of us should learn that at some point in life. It's a hard lesson to learn. Not even so much that it's a hard lesson to learn, but it's hard to say to people because naturally they're gonna be like, "What you mean this don't work for you? What that got to do with? What about what worked for me?" You know how people do. But one of my pet peeves is being on time or not being on time, or for somebody to be late all the time. And I had a situation where I was uh dating this girl or this lady, cool person. I ain't taking nothing away from her, but she was always, I'm right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, picture, I get off of work. And at this time, I'm doing mechanic work, so I'm working hard all day, changing motors, changing transmission. I'm talking about real big parts changing and all that kind of stuff all day. And at the time, I got a car, but I'm riding my bike. I got a bike. Well, I had a bike, and so I got a ride. Picture, I'm riding from work to her house at least no less than 30 to 40 minutes. And I'm on my way, but you done told me one too many times. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm right around the corner, bruh. I was coming. I told you I'm on my way, and you right around the corner. That don't work for me. But kept on. One thing that picture somebody tell you, can you stop? I don't think I was on the bike this time. I don't know if I was or not. But can you stop and pick me up something, X, Y, and Z, whatever? Yeah, I could do that. That ain't no problem. But I get by you, and you supposed to be cooking. I get by you. I done picked up what you asked me to pick up for you, but what you supposed to be cooking for me ain't ready. So you gonna sit in front of me and eat what you asked me? Boy, if you don't, I wish I could find that little boy. No, I'm just playing. But I'm using all of that to say, not to talk about nobody, but to say that you have to learn what works for you and what don't. And you got to be able to say that. And you got to be able to move on if you have to move on. Because guess what? If we in the beginning stages and you acting like this, Lord have mercy when it's been a couple of years. You feel me? That's where people miss all of the red flags, or they don't miss the red flag. They just push them to the side because you see them. But I don't want to get too deep into that because we're talking about fallback, and it plays a part because obviously I fell back, and I fell back hard because I'm like, you know what? You're cool, you good, you all right, but not for me. I ain't gonna be able to do it because if I overlook all of this little bit of shit right now, it's gonna turn into big shit. And to be honest with you, I ain't even told all of that. I just told her I can't do it no more. I ain't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? You might call me a coward or you might call me whatever, but I just realized that it wasn't gonna work, and it wasn't gonna work. Hence the strong fallback game. You know what I'm saying? Now I ain't going around selling people no pipe dreams and getting them all in love and then falling back just because I want to fall back. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing, like I said, a lot of relationships I've had in my life that I had to fall back from and haven't talked to the people since. It don't mean I hate nobody. It don't mean I'm upset with anybody. It's just me. It just means that it didn't work out. And you know what I'm saying? We good, but we ain't gotta we ain't gotta see each other all the time or talk to each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? For me, long as I know you're good and you're winning, I'm cool. Maybe that don't work for other people, but that's just who I am. But anyway, that's just a quick video about fallback games, and most people that are that way know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, maybe it'll give you an understanding of how some people you've had to deal with was that way. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if it's that serious, it could be something that you did to make them do that. Unless it was just one of them people who was just out for one thing anyway, and once they got it, they fell back. That ain't the type of fallback game I'm talking about. I ain't talking about all of that. I'm talking about uh, uh, being close to somebody or being in a relationship with somebody and doing right by that person, but something happens where they do something they ain't had no business, or you realize that that ain't for you, and you let them know that, and then you fall back. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the folk out here that just using people up to just use them and do whatever they want with them, and then you know what I'm saying, then throw them away. I ain't talking about that. But anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Y'all be easy, and we'll see you in the next one. One love.